I don't really have any excuses, but I felt like playing Jund today. I don't know. As much as we'd like to make fun of this deck, it is really, really fun. And I do think it gets to play a lot of good cards in the format at the moment. Spyro, Blightbeetle is one of the better sideboard cards. I've been kind of liking this mana base I have. I'm also trying Elder Gargaroth out in the sideboard. This really helps against a lot of the creature matchups. Really helps against Dredge. Really good against E-Tron. And I feel like with Wrenn and Six in your deck, it's not that hard to get to 5 mana. Yeah, I kind of am down for a 3-2 or better prediction here. 3-2 or better with Jund. I think I'm gonna mulligan this hand. This hand's much stronger. Shearing, thank you for your 6-month resubscription. Hope you're having a good day today. I think I'm probably putting back Cling to Dust. Is there anywhere you can see the sweet Lurrus Rakdos deck I played this weekend off stream? No, I haven't posted it. And I don't think that deck is very good. Yeah. I'm not asking to know what Canister's playing. I'm just saying I don't know. Don't feel like just because Canister's streaming, I want to get extra info. Did I play the thingy on Sunday? Yeah, I went like 3-2 drop. I didn't win it. So probably Inverter. I think Canister's been playing a lot of Inverter lately. Have the extra Thoughtseize on the side. The Ouphes are maybe good. No, I don't think so. I think Canister's on a more like controlling list, actually. Let me get a Blood Crypt here. So we got a Remand, Serum Vision's Jace. I think we just take the Remand so we can resolve a 2-drop next turn. All in on yes. Hell yeah, Blade Man. Very in character. Oh my god. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have said it for so long, but I wasn't expecting the odds to be that stacked. Takes one of my 2 Goyfs. Yeah, I feel like I probably don't want to be establishing Wrenn and Six so hard this game. It feels like Tarmogoyf and getting my opponent dead is going to be really important. Yeah, so I think I'm getting Stomping Ground with this Mire, and then we can get basic Swamp with the Catacombs, and our mana is going to be good. Notably, with this version, I'm not playing Scavenging Ooze, and one thing I really like about not playing Scavenging Ooze is that you don't need double green, so you need double black and double red, but you don't need double green. Oh, the main deck relics. It's pretty brutal. But why the main phase sacrifice of it? Do you have another relic? Maybe knew the Thoughtseize was coming? So guess I'm gonna get basic Forest. Bolt my opponent to grow the Goyf to 4/5. Attack for 4. Kind of nice to be able to attack for this much with Goyf right after getting relicked. If I ping, they go down to 10, and that means another Wrenn and Six is lethal if we ping off the top, so it's probably worth pinging. How do you send the deck list for the deck tech? Just post a link to it in the chat. Yeah, so any burn spell is lethal. They also have now grown the Goyf to 5/6. Oh no, sorry, not lethal. Yeah, not lethal. So let me actually kill the Jace then. Then it'll be a 6/7 once we play the land, and then the Bolt is lethal next turn. Kind of weird that I didn't know you could send links with mana traders. Interesting, interesting. So like a Naya mid-range deck. I will say that the problem with these Naya mid-range decks is they lack the discard spells or the land destruction or just, you know, the in general interaction that you kind of need to be a mid-range deck. You know, in modern, you either need to present a really fast clock or have a lot of disruption for your opponent's whatever your opponent's strategy is. And the problem with Naya is that you don't have access to discard spells or counter spells, which are usually the premium interaction that you need if you're going to be playing a mid-range archetype, right? So usually if you're Naya, one card, and you're a mid-range deck like this that's playing Tracker and Voice, you're going to need to play land destruction, because that's basically all you have access to in the Naya combination is land destruction. As far as ways to disrupt decks like Tron, you know, combo decks. So so my advice to you with this list is to either be more aggressive or find a way to make the mana work that you can like main deck Blood Moons. And I'm not sure that that's going to work if you're playing Voice and Tracker and Knight of the Reliquary. And these relics are beating. So that's my thoughts on like the Naya archetype. Alright, a chest. A little late today, no worries. What's up, Spikeling? I'm the #1 innovator in Magic, MTGO user, aspiring Spike, and welcome to my Shark Typhoon. It's Throwback Tuesday in the Typhoon, so we're going back to the King of 3-2, John. Can we overcome the odds and sneak out a 4-1 or even an unthinkable 5-0 and a trophy? Only time will tell. If you believe, also sub, follow, like, hit the bell icon, and get those Athena plushies. Good morning. Chest. Don't think Boyle's very good against Canister's mana base, at least from what I can tell. I want this Thoughtseize. I think we got pretty lucky to win game 1, honestly. Our hand was really strong. Absolutely zero enthusiasm. That's what you come to the stream for, but I do appreciate a chest's contributions for sure. You're on the wrong channel if you want enthusiasm. I just can't remember exactly what Canister's list looks like. I don't think Canister's playing Mana Rocks. I feel like Klothys is a fine threat in this matchup, not necessarily a very good one. Do I want to play the Boyle? What is the Blightbeetle for? The Heliod combo matchup, which is a hard matchup for sure. I could play the Boyle. I think the Boyle's probably good enough to play, at least like better than my other sideboard cards. Can keep this. I mean, no turn 1 discard spell's kind of tough, but we do have a cycle land and have a bunch of threats, which is probably important for this matchup. Would I challenge Reed in the mirror? Probably not, because Reed would, you know, have much better things to do with his time than accept a John the Grudge match. But if we happen to both be playing John, I think it'd be really fun. Recently, I was playing like a Mardu Smallpox deck, which is, you know, similar, at least in the archetype. It's a good draw. Yeah, Gargaroth is a great sideboard card, I think. Probably taking Wrenn. Ouphe for Relic. You know what? I think that's probably worth it, actually. If we end up going to game 3, I'll play the Ouphes. Is Blightbeetle a good option for Heliod? How have I found it to be? I found it to be very good if they don't Skyclave it. And then I kind of think the theory here is that we have a lot of discard spells, so maybe we can like take their Skyclave if they have a Skyclave and stop them from Skyclaving the Blightbeetle. And it's very hard for them to deal with if it sticks. You know, just turns Spike Feeder into a dead card and turns Ballista into a dead card. I can't put counters on things. And it also has pro green, so it gets to, you know, like block some stuff. Not too much stuff, but some stuff. I'm gonna get basic mountain here. Do you think Mystic Repeal is a good sideboard card against Heliod? I do, yes. I do, yes. Redisplayed Rampaging Frostodon against Helia. That's an interesting card. I think I'm just escaping Kroxa. Oh, awesome, it resolved. Fatal Push, okay. This card's Delta, going down to 10. So you effectively have Canister at 5, or 4 now that with the fetch. Only 2 cards in hand. Is John really the best Wrenn and Six deck in Modern? Probably not. I think I'm just gonna cycle. No, I guess if I cling, yeah, never mind. I'll just Wrenn or Liliana. Discard the cling. Get their last card, which is a basic island. Yeah, Kroxa I think is very good in Modern. I agree. Yeah, our opponent's playing Inverter. What about a Grixis Kroxa deck? There's probably something there. The problem is, like, in Grixis, I feel like you really want to be playing, like, Archmage's Charm and... Alright, so now, Assassin's Trophy on Sheldock Isle should be a win, plus a Liliana Edict. Just because we know our opponent's deck just now does nothing. It's just a bunch of... It's like 3 lands, a Thoughtseize Fatal Push. Alright, off to a good start. Is Klothys underrated? I think Klothys is pretty good. Dude, playing against Canister into Sodak. Pretty tough start. Do I mulligan this hand against Sodak? Sodak plays a lot of Dredge, of course. A lot of graveyard decks, a lot of linear decks. Tavant, which hat would you like to put on? I think I'm going to keep. I'll just keep this in the blind. Why do you not play Soul Guide Lantern? I mean, there's a few different reasons. Steam Vents is interesting at a Sodak. So my sideboard plan against Dredge is mostly includes me like slamming Elder Gargaroth and playing Klothys and Cling to Dust. Like I have oh wow. Well, yeah, I'm definitely getting punished for no graveyard hate against Sodak. Or not no graveyard hate. Like I have 2 main deck Clings and a Klothys and a sideboard Klothys, and then Gargaroths are also very good against Dredge. So I'm of the opinion that you don't really need that effect, so I'm not playing it. And then obviously I paired against Living End. Should have played your Soul Guide Lantern for the Living End menace. Although notably this does come back with Living End. At least get a trigger there. Cycle Striped Riverwinder. Cycle Street Wraith. They discard Living End. Well, this is a version I believe that's playing like As Foretold to cast Living End. I guess maybe not now that I see Sacred Foundry. I'm just gonna expect Ardent Plea. Can we beat 2 5/5s? Maybe they're also playing As Foretold. They are down to 8s. Yeah, we could maybe win. I'm not going to concede. Although not getting a token off the Spyro does kind of stink. Any chance we escape Kroxa this game? Yeah, escaping Kroxa seems like it's maybe going to be part of winning this game, so I'm just going to leave the ability to maybe escape it next turn by discarding probably Overgrown Tomb, Wooded Foothills here. So if we don't block, we take 13 down to 4. And then we can maybe cascade if they, we can just maybe just Bloodbraid into Bolt and kill our opponent next turn. Yeah, I think we're just taking this hit. Maybe we should have discarded Bloodbraid Elf. Seems like Kroxa is the line to win. Yeah, my thought process was I could maybe cascade into Bolt and just kill my opponent next turn by keeping the Bloodbraid in the hand. But I think your line is maybe better. So now we're on the double chunk block plan. If we could have double blocked a Riverwinder, maybe we had a better chance. Will Baleful Strix be too good at Modern? Yeah, probably. Let's all, instead of wishing for legacy cards that, you know, have problems with them and, you know, a lot of people consider to be just not that fun and push out certain archetypes like Baleful Strix and Daze. Let's wish for new, exciting cards that are good and fun to play with and against. So Damping Sphere taxes their Cascade by 1 mana, which, boys, does not seem very good. The Boil actually seems okay. Also taxes our Bloodbraid Elf. This matchup seems so bad. 2 weird matchups. What do I think about Jund and Legacy? Unplayable, probably. But probably very, very fun. What if we brought in these Elder Gargaroths and we tried to discard them to, like, Spyro? And then when our opponent living ends, Gargaroth is just maybe going to be able to win combat. Yeah, Gargaroth actually seems really good if we can just either get it in the graveyard or cast it after a living end resolves. Do I want Bolt more than Assassin's Trophy? I guess Trophy can kill some of their big stuff. Could maybe kill As Foretold too. Thoughtseize self-discard Gargaroth. Genius. Probably can't keep this against Living End. This hand has a Gargaroth. I think I'm going to go 5. This hand's way better. I think I'm putting back Mountain Bloodbraid Elf. Do I have any ideas for new cards? Not really. I mean, I'm not a card designer. I have some, I suppose, but none. I don't think I have any good ones. And I just mostly just like to see new cards and be happy seeing them, you know. Elder Gargaroth is probably the best draw next turn. Living End almost always transforms after game 1. It's probably best for us because we can't beat Living End in any game. Why isn't Duress Modern playable? Duress is a fine sideboard card, probably. It's just like, I mean, there's a difference between Modern playable and like the best card for a specific, you know, slot, you know. But I've played Duress in Modern. I think it sometimes is a card you want. I think I'm just gonna Spyro. Liliana is also just not that good against them, and it grows the Goyf up to 4/5. Cycles the Street Wraith to take more damage. This guy that just grew the Goyf, so I'm not sure why that was the line. Living in next turn. I mean, they have to have drawn a Cascade spell. It's obviously not asking that much for them to have done that. If we played Lily, discard Spyro, we played around Living in next turn. A little bit, yeah. Maybe that was a better line. Yeah, I think that's a reasonable line. Opponent is down to 7. They're just dead if they haven't found a Cascade spell. We also can have another Goyf to cast, which is going to be very big on this board if these are the creatures. Probably not good enough by itself, but we can draw some other stuff. Probably going to target my library. Yeah. Architects is a pretty good card. Alucard Rogers, thank you for your Twitch Prime subscription. Hope you're having a good day today. Yeah. Of course, just easy for them to draw one of their 1,000 cascade spells. So they can hit me for 10. I don't think we have many outs. Maybe like Bloodbraid into Assassin's Trophy. Ted, and then Chris Adler, thank you for your resubscriptions as well. The fact that Sodic is tanking, okay. Good enough for me. Alright, well that seemed like a bad matchup. Pretty interesting start, playing against Canister into Sodic. It's our opponent. I might keep this. We have 4 castable spells off of the Cliffs. Any fetch land makes this hand insane. We also have a 1-mana cycler. What's Elder Gargaroth for? Swift Spear and Shadow matchups and Dredge and Eldrazi-tron. And Ponza, if that people play that. And tribal decks. Can't believe my opponent has the nuts. It's kind of just unfair. We did draw a land though, so probably can't complain too much. I think I'm gonna cycle the Cling. Obviously a great draw. Should the title end with a question mark? Maybe that would have been good. Could have been the line. My opponent also has played Field of Ruin, which doesn't make a ton of sense since they can now just not cast one of their 2 Archmage's Charms on turn 2 or turn 3. So I don't really understand that decision. But I'll go to Thoughtseize in case they've drawn a mana leak and then play my Wrenn. Yeah. But I don't know why you would play Field of Ruin over Flooded Strand when you have 2 Archmage's Charms in your hand. But we kept a 1-lander. We've hit every land drop and have, you know, 2 extra lands in our hand somehow. Easy. Man, it is nice to see Teferi Time Raveler and not just feel like I've lost the game when it resolves. Usually when Teferi Time Raveler resolves, I'm like, oh no, I've lost. Then we get this card advantage engine of Wrenn and Six Liliana going. Opponent's hand is Charm, Supreme Verdict, Mystery card. I'm also going to bolt this. They discarded Jace? That's a decision. I feel like Jace is so much better than the Verdict here. They even have like Teferi to maybe bounce a Goyf. Not really very keen on Assassins and using this Assassin's Trophy on any of my opponent's permanents this turn. I'll just like allow my opponent to cast Archmage's Charm. Yeah, I think I'll just go ahead and cycle Cling to Dust on the mana leak because we know our opponent's hand. This does mean that we lose our fetch land to go with the Wrenn and Six, but I think that's probably fine. Yeah, if they Field of Ruin me, I'll have something. Wait, how is there... Okay, sorry. I didn't really think that they could have... I don't know why I didn't realize they had 3 cards in their hand. Right, now they have Charm up. They cycle there to Teferi, which is fine. I was hoping that they'd Field of Ruin me. Didn't get my wish, I guess. Just gonna discard the push. They discard one of their 2 charms. So they're gonna need to find Cryptic Command or Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, in order to deal with either of my planeswalkers that are both ulting next turn. Tarmogoyf, 12 months, 1 year. Glad to be part of the Typhoon. Hell yeah, dude. Alright, so my opponent's hand is now 3 new cards. One of them was Field of Ruin. I'm going to start off by ulting Liliana. Ooh. Interesting draw. Yeah, I think we put Field, Island versus Colonnade Island. Hate this decision, honestly. This allows me to use my Wrenn and Six to get a land. Concedes. Deal. So I probably want the 4th Thoughtseize, the Boil, the Klothys, and cutting just the Fatal Pushes. Looks fine to me. Kind of wish I had like one more card, but that's often how Jund feels post board. You just often wish you had one more card for a matchup. Jund has actually been doing quite well. Defying quite well. I feel like Jund has been, like, you know, more playable than it was when Uro was legal, but it's not like a tier 1 deck or anything. You can keep this on the draw. It's fine. Like I really enjoy playing Jund. I think it's really fun, and I do think that there is a lot of play to it. But Jund is definitely not a tier 1 deck or really very close to it. Do I put a mulligan on the play? No, they kept 7. We're calling it tier 1. It feels decent. Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. I agree. I agree that Jund is a fine deck in the format. And certainly better than it has been in the past. Alright, so we get to empty our opponent's hand of spells, which is nice. Yeah, Pyro, Wrenn and Six, Klothys are all very good cards that Jund has gotten access to over the last couple years. And my opponent's hand is Plains Island Mystery card. Pretty sure I'm just playing Liliana. Although now I have a land to get back with Wrenn and Six. I think I'm still playing Liliana. Opponent only has 1 mana up. I think I'm just discarding the Inquisition. Inquisition is kind of nice to play next turn to kind of try to resolve the Wrenn and Six, but I kind of like keeping the Bolt a little bit more in case my opponent has a Jace for next turn, or top stacks a Jace. That would be one of the ways to lose this game. These are super aggressive Field of Ruins. Alright, so now I'm going to plus discarding Bolts. Then hopefully we go Wrenn and Six into Goyf. Opponent only has 1 card left in their hand. If the last card is a counterspell, it's really not the end of the world. It's not a counterspell. Playing against blue-white control. I don't know what blue-white flash is, but this is blue-white control. Alright, 2-1 with Jund, trucking along. All 3 matches have felt very decisive. Let's keep this. Go Overgrown Tomb, cycle Barren Moor on turn 1. Where does Squirrelblade fall on the tier list? I mean, Squirrelblade, for whatever reason, is not very popular. And we talk about this a lot, but whenever I'm talking about tier lists, I'm mostly talking about like what the meta is defined by, what's popular, what's not popular, what decks you need to be prepared for, more so than I'm talking about like a power level ranking of the various decks. And Squirrelblade is not a popular deck, but I think Squirrelblade is fantastic. I think Squirrelblade is a really, really good deck in the format and is very underplayed. But it's not even, it's like, you know, tier 3 maybe. however you want to define. If you define tiers based on popularity, Squirrelblade is tier 3 because it's just not a popular deck. People just don't play it, but I think it's great. Were the previous 2 matches against? We played against round 1, Canister on Inverter, then Sodek on Living End, and then Blue-White Control. Yeah, big old Goyf. A Neonate. Nani? I mean, my opponent played Inquisition, so they're not like, at least not a standard dredge list. Village writes their Neonate. I'm gonna keep up this Cling to Dust this turn. Just play Goyf 2. Gorya's Vengeance. Probably not in a Village Rites deck. They're probably like a Dreadhorde Arcanist, Kroxa, like the historic Rakdos Sack deck. Or not Rakdos Sack, like Rakdos, you know, Arcanist. Spite Bellows. When it leaves the battlefield, deals 6 damage. Any way we can get 1 more card type? I don't think so. So far, I have not... Every single card my opponent has cast has surprised me. Let me cling their Village Rites. That might give us some insight as to what the heck is going on. Unearth, Thunderkin Awakener, Rixmatty Reveler, Citrus Supplier. Yeah, I think I just want to Fatal Push the Awakener here. I don't think I want to Thoughtseize it and then open myself up to another, like, Unearth being drawn. Yeah, they're trying to Thunderkin Awakener, Lightning Skelemental us. Feels bad. Guess I'm discarding the non-Seasoned Pyromancer cards. No, I need to keep the push in my hand for the Unawakener. I don't think I'm going to shock the hold of Cling to Dust. There's like no chance my opponent my opponent is just not going to play into the Cling. When they have the Thunderkin Awakener, I'm just going to need to push this turn instead. Yeah, Thunderkin Spite Bellows is cool. I like that interaction. So the hand is Awakener, Rixmatty Reveler. See if they play the Reveler or not. Alright, so yeah, they can draw on Earth off of this. Reveler is pretty good when you have no cards in your hand. Interesting. I feel like I need to hold up the Cling here. Not play the Wrenn. Can you Rixmatty with Spectacle from the graveyard with Luris? I believe so, yes. Yeah, that is kind of cool. So I want to leave Barren Moor and Klothys and ideally Spyro in my yard. So they have a... I guess I should be targeting, actually, their Inquisition, so they can still have a sorcery in the yard. And that allows us to exile our sorceries and instants. Second creature, second fetch land. Not a lot of help with the cliffs there. Ooh. That feels good. Top decking Bloodbraid Elf is, it's always a great feeling. And now we're presenting lethal. Bloodbraid into Liliana. Today is a good day. So they have to have something in their hand or they die here. They did not. Seems like a good matchup. Probably. Gargaroth. Well, Gargaroth doesn't block Skelemental that well, but they probably don't have very many answers to it. Klothys also seems great. Kind of down to trim one Thoughtseize at least. Cut the trophies. Can we cut a Bloodbraid Elf when I bring in all these Gargaroths? Probably want the 4th push too. Oh, Kroxa is probably something I want to trim on too. Oh, they do have Spite Bellows. Yeah. An excellent point. I probably just can't ever play this then. Jund is a surprising choice. Yeah, I'm playing this today because I thought it'd be fun, and so that's kind of the end of the list. Yeah, Magic is a game, and I think just sometimes playing decks you enjoy is very important. I'll take the Klothys again. Not sure I would have done the same, but maybe the card's just so hard for them to beat. Alright, so we've got Urgon, God of Death, Stitcher's Supplier, Thunderkin Awakener. Or we just have to take Unearth, because if we take any creatures, they just get to Unearth it here. I'm excited to see Urgon. I feel like this card's good. Kind of feel like they should cast the Throne of Death side. I feel like that part is probably very good against me. They have found a Skelemental now for their Awakener. And they can take my Lightning Bolt, so... Yeah, if we don't draw a removal spell, or a Cling to Dust, or a discard spell... They do just basically win the game with this Awakener now. Yep. Super dead. Never pegged you as a Jund guy. I really like Jund. Jund's super fun. I just like acknowledge that the deck is not the most competitive in Modern. In fact, when I was first started streaming, like one of the first decks I was playing was like Jund with Wrenn and Six, because I started streaming right when Horizons came out, and I feel like I was one of the first people on it. Alright, so Goyf is a 4/5. I think we're just going to cast Spyro. No, if we cast Spyro, we're just discarding the cards we draw anyways to get the Goyf in play. Then we get to block the Awakener, and maybe we get to survive. Is it Egon or Urgon? I don't see an R. Am I saying Urgon? I just don't care, dude. All these stupid made-up names, you know? Magic is so full of stupid made-up names, you know, that are just trying to sound all cool. Urgon, the god of death. Klothys, the god of destiny. You know. It's just so much to keep up with. You know, I have a tenuous grasp on the English language as it is. Alright. Chumping with Tarmogoyf is a fate worse than death, so we'll just concede. Egon is a decently common Norwegian name. I believe you. I also have never been to Norway. But sure, I mean, that's a Norwegian name. Shout out to all the Norwegian fans, I guess. But my point stands that there still are a ton of just made up names in MTG that honestly my big criticism of them is that a lot of them seem like they look really good on paper, like they look really good, or they look like they make sense to say written out, but don't actually sound very good coming off of the tongue, you know. That's my biggest criticism of MTG names. Sorry, flooding out a bit. Stokey, 7 months. Hope you're having a good day today. Aren't all names made up? Yeah, but then like the good ones persist. We've only drawn lands this game. Good ones persist because they actually sound good to say instead of just being like, this sounds like a fantasy name. All right, Seasoned Pyromancer, come on. We hit a land off of Bloodbraid Elf? Kind of did. Bano, thank you for converting your Prime Gaming sub, and Stokey, 7 months. Alright, they Spite Bells my Bloodbraid Elf. Cycle land would be nice too, if we're going to draw a land. Klothys, God of Destiny, is a pretty good draw here. Yeah, we actually did cascade into a land. It's kind of funny. It's nice that if they do top deck a Blood Moon, though, that they're not going to be that effective. Yeah, Skelemental's not so bad either. We just gain a bunch of life, and like the discard 2 doesn't matter either. In fact, they kill Wrenn and Six. Makes sense. Alright, Klothys. You are now my deity of choice. If you could win me this game. If you win me this game, Klothys, when I call out to the magic gods, I will no longer ask for help from Hazoret. I will beseech Klothys, the god of destiny. It's honestly a pretty good god to worship. Don't tell I've been worshipping Hazoret for the longest time, but I might convert if I win this game. I think it's very important for everyone to pick one magic god to call out for when they need a good top deck. I might just ping my opponent. Probably better to plus, though. Oh, they do get to hit me with Spite Bellows here. Wait, does this have to deal damage? Oh, this has to kill... This has to kill Thunderkin Awakener. It's not a May ability, wow. I mean, it was still 2 mana 7 damage, but... It's kind of interesting. Our thinning of the deck has worked. He finally drew a spell. They hit Neonate Inquisition Village Rites. You know, one card we haven't seen from our opponent is Kroxa, but that card's probably great in their deck. Feed the Tarmogoyf. It's kind of a weird card to see. I think I'm exiling their Awakener. Another land. Do we have fetchables left in the deck? I don't think we do. Yeah, this is all my dual lands. Would there be a world in which you play creature lands in the deck? Yeah, I think you can play one Raging Ravine. I ended up cutting it for Smoldering Marsh, and I've really been liking Smoldering Marsh, but you can play a Raging Ravine. I have 2 Cycle lands in the deck as like utility lands as well to go with Wrenn and Six, so it's not like I played no utility lands. John would definitely play Triumph. Oh, yeah, Triumph would be so good. The Blightbeetle is for the Heliod combo matchup. Yeah, Klothys is doing some great work this game. Yeah, we could cast Ulamog. Why no Ulamog? Twitch chat does have a tendency to ask, like, why aren't you playing a card that would be perfect in this situation, you know? Is Klothys a number with Goyf? Not really. It's like you have, like, a lot of control over the graveyards and not really that big a deal. Alright, Believers got paid off, and I now am converting. Sorry, Hazoret, you've been a good god, but Klothys is now my MTG god. Probably keep it. This hand's good. Good enough to keep. I'm also going to see if I can con Esther into getting some tea going. Or I guess I can get it going, too. Alright, she had already made a coffee instead. How did I leave for a minute and I'm ahead on time? And no game action has been taken. So my opponent had a hard mulligan decision. How am I ahead on time? I just left for a minute and Esther had me like fly into her lid to a cup. Just never not been ahead on John in my life. Hey, Sexy John. I've played the deck a bunch. It was the first deck I was like really streaming with a lot. Like right when Wrenn and Six came out, I was playing it. Basic Islands, Serum Visions. Yeah, I've always liked the deck. I don't think it's the most competitive, but I really enjoy playing it. And you get to make a lot of jokes about it, which is always fun. Playing against Storm. Probably taking Remand. And that was their draw for the turn. Why would you play the island though? I guess you're just like committed to not cycling Manamorphose. Probably do need to get a Blood Crypt. Can go Blood Crypt into basic mountain here. Again, we don't have any double green requirements, but we do have double red and double black. We do have double green post board, but it's for Gargaroth, which is a 5-drop, which I think is fine. You love your joke about how Jund players top deck after being Thoughtseize. Yeah, just the anatomy of a Jund player I think is doing that. Oh no, I was definitely supposed to plus Liliana first, but they're probably just discarding a instant anyways. I mean, it makes sense, you know. It's like you have perfect information when your opponents, you know, top deck you. Then just discard the trophy. We still need to get double red off the Mire and our 4th land for Bloodbraid Elf. Discard one of the 2 Manamorphoses. I feel like they should have cast Selendii Vision first, right? Because they could have maybe found Past in Flames and discarded that. Like, if that's their only hit. And they did get Past in Flames, so... obviously not a huge deal. And, like, maybe they'd rather have this in the hand. Anyways. So then it's Manamorphose, Fiery... oh, no, they played the Islet, so it's Manamorphose, Past in Flames, 1 mystery card. Now that they played the Steam Vents. So plus, discard the Mire, play Wrenn and Six. They discard the Past in Flames, which is you know, kind of a scary card here. You love those sub swamps, but obviously it's hitting hard when the 2 in the secret layer have slightly different arts. With the 2 sub, there's different arts of this? I wasn't aware of that. Manamorphose 2 mystery cards. Is it a big deal for competitive Modern that MTGO will no longer be published? Is that a confirmed thing, or have they just not been posting Decklist for 5 days or 6 days? I can't imagine that they're just never posting Decklist again. But Wizards sometimes does do things that I just can't imagine. So 3 mana, then they go up to 5 off the Manamorphose, but then they can't Past in Flames unless they hit a ritual off the Manamorphose. They can still go off if they hit ritual off Manamorphose. I mean, by go off, oh my gosh. I mean, and by go off, I mean, no, they can't actually. They only have, oh, this was a mistake. Yeah, they go up to 6 mana, but then they can't actually do anything off the Past in Flames. They're 1 short because they had to cast the Opt, which put them down a mana. It's very subtle, but they're different arts. I mean, I kind of like that personally, but I understand how you wouldn't. We dead? No, they actually just fizzle completely there. What were their lands that game? Selendii Vision, Steam Vents. Yeah, probably don't want the Boil. Obviously the Damping Spheres are great. The Thoughtseize is good. I hate Assassin's Trophy against Storm. Kroxa is also kind of medium. Kind of down to cut down a Kroxa, cut a Wrenn. Probably want 6 smart removal spells, maybe 5. Don't think that we want the 7th one in the form of Fatal Push. Don't think I want the Boil. Could maybe cut the Klothys for, like, we could play 3rd Wrenn or 2nd Kroxa, but I think I want the first Klothys. Is Klothys too slow? I think it's okay. It's just a fine threat that does, you know, hate their graveyard a bit. These games tend to go kind of long sometimes. Seb has some sweet Kickstarter stuff. That actually sounds cool. I'll probably check that out on my own time. Do you ever step back and think it's kind of funny, weird, I'm talking to a screen a lot? Not anymore, no. The only Decklist trophy in 5 days is Heliod. They're hiding the truth from us. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I used to, you know, think more about how weird the streaming thing is, and just like everything in life, it eventually can become normal if you just do it enough. Just how Jund players came to be. Beetle is in the sideboard for the Heliod matchup. It is my opinion that this is the best sideboard card against the Heliod deck, and I also perceive Heliod to be a bad matchup for Jund, and Heliod to be the best deck in Modern. So having like 3 sideboard cards for it makes sense to me. How did I hang mine up? Most of them are just with thumbtacks, and then the Black Lotus is, you know, too precious to be tacked, so it's with glue dots. Alright, keep this, put back Forest, and get Stomping Ground with Verdant Catacombs. What if I built around Wrenn and Six instead of Goyf? I'm confused because this deck has both, and we are built around both. But maybe you could, you know, elaborate or build the deck yourself and show me. Yeah, Beetle's also good against Scales, and like if somehow we play against a mono green deck, which is not gonna happen. I don't know, like maybe I guess I would maybe board this in against Elves. It is just a 1-mana True Name Nemesis, or a 2-mana, you know, protection from their deck, which is not, you know, so powerful against Elves, but if I feel like I've got a bunch of dead cards, maybe that would be a card I'd play. Which is more fun, losing to Heliod or losing to Uro? Probably Uro, actually, because like losing to Heliod a lot of times involves you like typing out, I have an out to infinite life, I have an out to infinite life, I'll treat it as if you have infinite life, but please, can we keep playing? And then they just kill you anyways sometimes, or like your win condition is sometimes convoluted and obnoxious. I was probably supposed to play the Catacombs first. I mean, if Liliana doesn't get remanded, then we just get it back with the Wrenn, but I think with the possibility of Liliana getting remanded, it was better to play the Catacombs. Could be dead. It's very unlikely. It's hard for Storm to kill you on turn 3 without having a Mana Dork already in play on turn 2, but it's definitely possible. And it's not that hard. NRW, 8 months. Hope you're having a good day today. Appreciate ya. Coco, Heliod, Spike Feeder. Yeah, I agree. Uro was the good guy all along. Wait, did opponent put us on the play? They did. That kind of just like smells like a super experienced decision, honestly. Like a decision you would make after playing thousands of matches with Storm against Jund. Or maybe a decision that you're just kind of like outsmarting yourself by making. Lightning Bolts, Manamorphose. Well, I'll just take the Manamorphose and Spyro. Or a Misclick, yeah, maybe. What do I think is better, the Noble version or the Arbor Elf version? Probably Arbor Elf, but it's like just so close, it doesn't really matter. I would say I feel like there are, like specifically Utopia Sprawl is so much better against Prowess than Noble Hierarch and Birds, and I would be more concerned with having that matchup be good than anything else as a Heliod player. K Doris subscribed to Tier 1 for 4 months in advance. Well, thank you to you. Shot of Espresso for you. But one on bottom, one on top. We know that they have a bolt in their hand. It's probably good to cast Thoughtseize this turn. Yeah, I think I'm going to go attack with my guys, Thoughtseize, and then Spyro off of Smoldering Marsh. We also have 2 Planeswalkers threatening ultimate. Whose dono deck is this? Blademan once donated for Jund. But no, I just kind of felt like playing it today. And Magic is a game, and sometimes you just want to just play the deck that you want to play. I really believe in that. I guess I don't need to get Marsh. I could also hold up Cling to Dust if I wanted to. But I did put a card on top, but just no one card does anything here. Right? Please, every time you hear espresso, it hurts a little. We looked this up. Espresso is a valid way to pronounce it. Yes. You look nice.
Okay. Just so you know, thank you. Just so you know, Athena didn't eat grass this morning.
She did?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's
I'll keep an eye on her.
Yeah.
Espresso is a valid way to pronounce it. We've Googled it. We've talked about it on stream to death. I'll die on this hill. A Barrel of Monkeys, 3 months. Hope you're having a good day today. Appreciate ya. Unless, of course, you disagree with my espresso philosophy, in which case you're dead to me. Probably gonna plus the Wrenn and Six again here. I mean, this game's probably impossible to lose. Die on this molehill. Yes, 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 yes. Bye. Such a weird hill to die on. Yeah, it's just time for me to take a stand, pick a battle. Obviously, I'm mostly joking. What's in the donor queue for this week? I guess now we've got new bits. If you can post the link in chat, I actually don't. I can't click it from here. I just want to take a look real quick while we have a sec. Your producer mispronounced no beats. Gotcha. Thank you for that. I'll die on pronouncing your name like this. Ah. Cool. This deck looks really fun. Marty Stoneblade. Please change the sideboard in the mana base. Will do. It seems fine. Definitely down. So I think this is so far the only deck in the dono queue for this Thursday. So 3 slots open. Looks like a good fun first deck. I suppose I'm just gonna go ping an Edict here. Well, it's nice because we have no possible way to lose this game. Gonna 4-1 with Jund. Losing just to Living In. Deck felt pretty reasonable. I'm kind of down to play a second league with this deck. What do you guys think? Second league with Jund. Miss Lethal? Oh yeah, I guess we did. Does it really matter that much? Yeah. We could have pushed the token for lethal, but yeah. Yeah, 4-1 feeling pretty good. Honestly, like the deck did seem fine. We just like lost to blue-red Living End, and we're very much not prepared for it. Which is you know what you're gonna do with decks like this is lose to decks you're not prepared for. Yeah, I played Cyclone Summoner in